Good morning, Joe here. It's Freestyle Friday, and I got a couple cars to talk about, and then some questions to answer. And these questions all involve like show and tell, like a little field trip around this room and even my whole house. So I'm not going to show you my house, but I'll show you some stuff. So first, the cars. These are 4 ads for the main line. I did keep one of them, I guess. I need to keep the other one, actually. So this Purple Passion, which is white, I guess it has some purple on it. So it's got purple-ish. It's got purple windows. But in general, it's white. I didn't realize this had been around as long as it has been. There's quite a few of these. And it's, even though it's a fantasy car, it's based, I think it's based on Mercury. So if you collect Mercuries, you might want this. But this is going to the archive. I have not crossed over into the 40s and 50s cars just yet, but this is a slick one. The Mad Fast. And last time I saw this was the Treasure Hunt version. It's an open wheel. I don't know if this is a race car or a dragster or what, or funny car, but it's kind of cool. It's classic Hot Wheels style, like the customized look. And this is called yellow, but it's sort of a beigey yellow, really washed out yellow in person. And very cool colorway. If I collected these, I'd be pretty pleased at the way they did this one. And those 2 are open because they were in loose inventory. Because they're not great sellers, so I opened them all just for space. But I realized they needed to be in the archive, so I opened it back up. This was one that I did keep one of because I am very fond of Ford GTs. This says Ford GT, but it's actually a Ford GT LM, which I presume stands for Le Mans. It doesn't say LMP like some cars do. But I got these. Maybe I'll show you on Saturday, slack-ass Saturday. But pretty cool. Huge wing. Ford. Is that right side up? I guess it is right side up. Ford GT. It doesn't say LM, but believe me, it's the same casting as the LM. And this is the Ford Mustang Funny Car. Does it have a year? It's a 71. So it's different from like the really narrow one, the Mustang Funny Car. This, I think I need one of these, but I don't want to really collect those skinny ones. So I don't know. I'll probably grab one when they're a little more common. I've yet to see this on the peg. This one is left over from cases that were purchased. And I did not get the super version. You can tell that this one time had a body that hinged off, but this one does not. It's fixed. And as I was saying, I did not pull the Super Treasure Hunt version of this out of a case, and I don't know, maybe I'll get lucky and find it in a store, but the archive does need the super version of this. I don't, because I don't collect supers. So those 4 are going to the Ignition Diecast Library Master Set Archive. Archive's kind of a complicated word, right? A lot of people don't know what it means, so it's like the library, the master set. So that's all I got for cars today. Now I'm going to answer a lot of questions. Are you ready? You ready? You ready? Okay. I wrote them down because there's so many. So just a follow-up. So it was saying, follow-up to the question, what cars I wish were made. Also, Marco suggested that I call Wednesday videos Wish List Wednesdays. So maybe we'll do that. Maybe, I don't know if I'll change the actual video titles to Wishlist Wednesdays, but On Wednesdays, I'm going to express some things I wish I had, and maybe like castings I wish were made. So I discovered another one. This question was asked a couple weeks ago about what castings do I wish that Hot Wheels made that they don't. And I came up with a couple, but I think Matchbox does, so they weren't good answers. But I thought of one. The Dodge D100 in 70 and 71 came with an appearance package called Dude Sport Trim Package, and it's been called the Dude. And it's basically just a certain kind of graphic on the side. And I think the tail lights were different from the base D100. And it was only made for a couple years. Apparently, Don Knotts, who was doing Dodge advertisements at the time, did some ads for it. I haven't been able to find one of them. I thought that would be pretty funny. But there's plenty of pictures of the Dude Dodge. Just Google Dude and Dodge. It looks pretty bad. Ass. And nobody's made it yet. Like, I think that's a second gen Dodge D-Series truck. And if I remember right, I don't think that Hot Wheels has even like cast anything from that era. They've got the old ones, like the first gen, and then the 87 D100, which I actually collect, the jacked up version, and then there's the Matchbox D200, whatever, and there's the Dodge Power Wagon, and there's the Macho Power Wagon, but I don't think there's like a base, at least in the Hot Wheels world, a base second gen Dodge D-Series truck. So if they do it, the Dude would be pretty cool. Josh asks, manufacturing errors aside, have you ever found anything unusual or notable on or in a second-hand purchase? I thought about it. No, I really haven't. The most interesting thing that happened was I got a shipment in a box that was from the 50s. It was like a clerical records box from like 1957, and they shipped the cars in it. So it was an interesting box. But as far as like stuff like inside the cars or notes, not so much. I used to find that with records. Like before Diecast, my business was running a record store and doing mail order, and I would get a lot of used inventory. And you'd be surprised how many people leave notes inside records. Like, I purchased this in 1971, and I've got a lot of plays out of it. Hope you enjoy it, and stuff like that. Like notes inside vinyl records that are like 10, 20, even 30 years old sometimes. And that's pretty cool. It's like a little time capsule. Where is the archive kept? Okay, so this is where I'm going to pick up the camera, and we're going to go for a little walk. So the most recent 6 years are here under this desk in the shipping and receiving department of Ignition Diecast. And I'll pull this out. These are pretty stocked. So the each car is kept in a Ziploc bag and to protect it from being scratched by other cars. This is not very glamorous, but I mean, we're talking about a lot of cars eventually. So there's 2025, 2024, 2023, 21, and 2020, 2019, all the way down to 2010. So up here in this closet is 2009, all the way down to 2000. And these are, things are put in these boxes a lot less often. So kept in a closet, along with these cool David Paul Seymour art cans, which was another little collecting obsession for a while, but I don't do it anymore. But I can't part with them. And like I said, these are all over the house. This is the TV room with my Star Wars shit. So 99 down to 1990. And back here in this closet, there's one box for the 1980s because they really didn't put out a ton of cars back then. One box should handle it, and They don't come in very fast. And one box for the 60s and 70s, 12 years. And it's a big box, but again, though they didn't release too many cars during those years, and these two boxes, 60s, 70s, and 80s, will probably take as long to complete as the rest of the archive combined. So that's where they are, and you can see in their little cars in their little Ziploc bags. Someday they will be displayed, maybe. I don't know how, but maybe Ignition Diecast will be like massive one day, and we'll have a store that's like a warehouse, museum size thing. Back at the desk. And then the final two questions from the same guy are, do you ever spend all day just dusting off cars in your collection? I find myself dusting 2 to 3 days a week. That's a lot. We do have dust problems in this house, especially during pollen season, which we just came through. But this house was built in 2008, so it's not super old. It's pretty sealed up pretty well. It has like modern windows and stuff. So this room where I keep all these exposed cars doesn't get that dusty. I would say maybe like once a month they need to be dusted. And I used to buy little cans of air, like compressed air dusters. But I realized pretty quickly that Amazon sells these. Feels good, actually. Air dusters for like the same price as one 3-pack of air dusters. So I'm going that route. And you have to be careful with that because it's really powerful. It'll like blow cars right out of the shelf. So you have to stay back about 18 inches or so, at least with that nozzle on there. Came with a bunch of nozzles, but this one seems to be the one that is most appropriate for dusting cars. And finally, do you line up your cars in any specific order? Oh man, you don't know the depth of my nerdery. Like, everything I do is pretty much chronological or alphabetical. And so let me show you. So like this Porsche collection, for instance, is chronological. It's the earliest Porsches up to the latest, like the Cayman, the Panamera, and all that. Team Transports, chronological. These other sets like Audi, Nissan, Civics, ARCs, 7s, except for the first gen. Supras, Corvettes, all chronological. First gen and second gen Corvettes have been moved out, but believe me, everything is more or less chronological. I've been moving Mustangs out of these boxes pretty regularly, so those are just unsorted. That's just a big jumble. These Chargers and Challengers are loosely in chronological order, but I haven't really gone through it with a fine-tooth comb. But these Camaros, which I was planning on showing on a video soon, are definitely chronological, like 67, 68, 69, all the way to 68, 68 Customs, 68 Copos, 69 Copos, up to these 69 convertibles, Matchbox 69 SSs. They might be 70. I think they're 69s. And 70s, the Z28s, and then the IROCs, I think those are. But that's like 20th century, and then I have 2 more rows for her modern. These are Firebirds. But everything, yeah, definitely chronological. And even these boxes, I have a ton of the jammer cases and a whole bunch of Plano cases. Inside there, not only are they chronological, but I put them in order and leave a space for the cars that I still need. And up here, unsorted Hot Wheels, Bimmers, Matchbox, and Mini GT, not so much. They were sort of sorted at one time, but now I just throw cars up there. I'll get to it one day. And then Mercedes Hot Wheels, Mercedes Matchbox, Mini GT Porsches, and Matchbox Porsches, all sort of chronological. Did I mention that I have all the Unimogs except for that one on the bottom of the ocean? So yes, definitely into organization. It's kind of the most fun part of this whole collecting thing, is just sort of sorting and organizing shit. So that's all for questions. That's it for Freestyle Friday. Tomorrow is Slack Ass Saturday, so I'm not going to open anything. I'm just going to show you like more of my collection stuff. So I think I'm going to spend the rest of the day staying cool, cleaning my shirt off, and I'll talk to you Saturday.